Welcome to your UDL classroom. UDL stands for Universal Design for Learning. If you are new to UDL, you might be wondering why your teacher keeps going on and on about it. But when you begin to understand how UDL benefits everyone in the classroom by providing options for all students to engage and learn, you will start talking about it just as much as your teacher. One of the core principles behind UDL is the idea that all teachers and students need to believe inherently that they are capable of improving their performance by applying necessary effort, seeking out information and resources, collaborating with others who are more knowledgeable, and repeating throughout the process, "I think I can." UDL is all about breaking down barriers, empowering students with the ability to choose their mode of expression, and offering students a variety of ways to collaborate. Perhaps the most important thing UDL can teach us is the power of collective efficacy. When everyone in class works together, we are all able to reach common goals. Whether you realize it or not, collective efficacy is something that everyone at your school is working towards. It takes everyone working together to create a school atmosphere where everyone is welcome and everyone is given what they need to succeed. To give you a better idea of what UDL is all about, let's go on a journey together and look at the UDL guidelines. For the first stop on our UDL journey, we are going to the engagement zone. Hello, Carlos. Welcome to the engagement zone. Hi, Jacob. I was wondering if you could tell my friends a little bit about what you do here in the engagement zone. Here in the engagement zone, our main goal is to create purposeful, motivated learners. You may notice your teacher providing each student with multiple ways to engage in class, as well as options for all students to self-regulate their behavior. In order for learners to be purposeful and motivated, it is important for teachers to provide multiple means of engagement. This means that your teacher carefully plans a variety of ways for students to interact with each other during lessons, and a variety of ways for students to participate in class. My teacher makes sure the class understands the goals for each lesson, and she gives the class lots of opportunities to work together. She also gives us clear feedback to make sure each student knows their progress towards mastering each lesson goal. I love UDL because it gives students the power of choice in the classroom. I also like being able to see how well I am meeting each learning goal so that I know exactly what I need to work on in order to succeed. UDL sure is awesome. Yes, UDL is pretty awesome. Thanks for engaging in this conversation with me, Jacob. Anytime, Carlos. We're off to the representation station for the next stop on our UDL journey. The next stop of our UDL journey is the representation station. Hola, Gloria. Buenos días, Carlos. Welcome to the representation station. Our goal here is to create resourceful, knowledgeable learners. In order for learners to be resourceful, it is important for teachers to provide multiple means of representation. My teacher provides the class with lots of ways to access the content of each lesson so that every student is able to understand and comprehend what we are learning. I really appreciate how my teachers provide lots of options for learning language, mathematical expressions, and symbols. What I appreciate most is all the different ways my teacher displays information for the class. My teachers use videos, pictures, real-life objects, maps, reading materials, graphic novels, charts, graphs, and more to share information with students and present lesson content to the class. The best teachers provide multiple ways for students to access information and make connections to the content of each lesson. You are so right, Gloria. Thanks for being such a great representative for UDL. It's time my friends and I headed to the last stop on our UDL journey, Action and Expression Park. Hasta luego, Carlos. Adios, Gloria. On to our last stop, Action and Expression Park. Hi, Mario. Good to see you. Hey, Carlos. What's up? My friends and I are on a journey to learn about all the wonderful benefits of UDL. Our last stop is here at Action and Expression Park. I was wondering if you had a moment to tell my friends about the UDL guidelines for action and expression. Yes, I would be happy to share, Carlos. When it comes to action and expression, the goal is for all learners to be strategic and goal-directed. Teachers accomplish this goal by providing students with multiple means of action and expression. My teacher provides the class with lots of options for setting personal goals, planning and strategizing how to approach tasks, and she empowers us with options to track our own progress. Does your teacher also provide your class with options for students to communicate with others and options to express what they know? Of course! It wouldn't be UDL if there weren't options for students to communicate and express what they know. My teacher always gives us options for what types of work products we want to complete for assignments and assessments. My teacher lets the class choose from a variety of work products, like writing an essay, creating a presentation, recording a video or podcast, creating a poster, creating a comic strip, and many other options to demonstrate what we have learned. Thank you, Miguel, for taking action and for the general expression of your UDL knowledge. Now that you know a little bit about the UDL guidelines, let's take a look at one of the first questions that teachers ask themselves when preparing a UDL lesson. Teachers know that students are more motivated to learn when they know why they are doing something. Our students need to know why they are learning and why it's important to persist when learning gets hard. Rather than waiting for students to ask why they are learning a new skill or topic, with UDL, teachers take the proactive step of addressing this question head-on. When teachers used the old model of differentiated instruction, learning was still at the teacher's direction. Choices for how to learn were made by the teacher. When teachers use UDL, students are given options for how to learn and the power to decide what mode of learning is best for them. Students are also given the power to hold their teachers accountable for their learning. If the teacher is not providing them with appropriate options to support their learning and growth, then the teacher is not being very effective in the classroom. When we set the bar high and provide students with options to reach it, it sends them a message that we expect big things from them and we believe in them. When we communicate the guidelines to students, we are saying that we trust them enough to be transparent about our practice. We also give them the power of holding us accountable. Giving students the power to hold their teachers accountable creates a balance of power in the classroom dynamic. All good teachers know that each student brings their own unique set of skills, preferences, and background knowledge into the classroom. All learners vary greatly in their learning based on task and setting. That's why your teachers follow the UDL planning process and provide students with options for representation, options for engagement, and options for action and expression. Your teachers all know that you need to be prepared with the necessary skills and technological savvy for your future career and/or college education. That's why your teachers work hard to provide students with opportunities to try out new technologies and options for students to express what they know and what they are capable of doing using a variety of traditional and digital media formats. Before you go, there is one last thing I want to mention. Let's head over to the educational standards stands to conclude our time together. Before we finish our UDL journey, I want to share a little secret with you about lesson standards that will make them easier for you to understand. There are two types of lesson standards: content standards and method standards. Content standards require you to learn specific knowledge. Method standards require you to complete a specific task. Knowing the difference between the two types of lesson standards will help you determine what your teacher is asking you to do in order to meet each lesson goal. Knowing what is expected of you puts the power of learning in your hands, and that is what UDL is all about. UDL gives you control of your education. I hope you're as excited as I am. I can't wait to see what options my teachers have available next. For more information on UDL, please read UDL Now, A Teacher's Guide to Applying Universal Design for Learning in Today's Classrooms, written by Katie Novak, published by CAST Professional Publications, 2016.